Never seen a little black boy in the Arctic.
I can't see.
Anytime people think that I'm gonna zig, I like to try to zag.
I'm going to change the world.
And that's what you're gonna do. One of my acting teachers at NYU, his name's Ron Van Loo, he described acting as controlled schizophrenia. And like, hopefully if you're lucky enough to have a long enough career, you get a chance to let out a little bit more of yourself as time goes on. So anytime people think that I'm gonna zig, I like to try to zag and just try to show and share a different aspect of my personality with each character. That's first and foremost. Secondly is, what is the story that I want to put out into the world? You know, early in my career, you get a job and you're happy to get a job and you hope to go from job to job to job. I've reached a place in my life where I get a chance to have some sort of agency in what kind of stories that I want to tell and what kind of effect I want to have on society. And this story of Black Boy Joy filled my heart with such ebullience that I was like, oh, if it does that to me, hopefully it has the same sort of effect on the viewers. So everybody step off with their own story. Boy, do I got one for you. Story about a young man and the boy he used to be.
I think with Wash, you know, he's got such a turbulent journey, you know, and a very full one. He's got a very potent world, and I feel like it was, the biggest thing was, how do I dive into that? Because my world is so like different myself, you know? And the discrepancy anyway was huge. So it was a matter of like, how do I make it real for me? Like, how do I get into these circumstances and believe them? Because, you know, you have this journey where you're going to the Arctic, you're going to North America, you're going to all these different places. Like, it's incredible. How do I carve out a world for myself? And that's research. That's research, using the people around me, the book as well, a bit of it. And yeah, but that definitely was the hardest thing.
Tell me your name.
George Washington Black.
How did you do that? He's a clever one, isn't he? You're going to be working with me from here on out.
We started the show in 2022, and I had just finished doing This Is Us, and we had the property, and like there's one image in particular of this young black boy in the Arctic that I was like, oh, I've never seen a little black boy in the Arctic. I just want to see that picture on screen. That really sort of screamed to me. But it's also the idea of taking something that is probably one of the most oppressive institutions in the history of the world with regards to the transatlantic slave trade and flipping it. Showing somebody who existed within that timeline but refused to have his circumstances define who he is as an individual. The power of his imagination was able to transcend that. And I think that is a story that has real life reverberations today. There are people whose rights are being infringed upon and being made to feel small. And I hope they're able to hold on to their dreams, because their dreams are a form of protest. Their dreams are a form of resistance, to say that however you see me, I know the truth about myself, and I am bigger than this right now. Big fella come in on the ferry looking for a black man. George Washington Black. Yeah.
I spent a very short time in Iceland, but I was there, and there was one point where we were staying, there was the reception place where we had breakfast was like a walk away. So every morning we'd have to make this trek, like a couple, just like a crossing, you know?
Yeah.
And me and Eddie, who plays Young Wash, and his father were getting ready to get breakfast. We stepped outside into a blizzard. From where we were to get to breakfast was an adventure in itself. I felt I was in the story live action. I'm holding on to Eddie, and Eddie's like, I can't see. I can't see. And I'm holding on to Eddie. I'm like, Eddie, it's okay. I got you. Let's go. I'm holding on to him. It was crazy. We made it through in the end, but it was like the conditions there, like, it was just like crazy terrain. It was beautiful. Northern Lights every day, but it was insane. It was insane.
I didn't get a chance to go to Iceland because I was still shooting This Is Us, but I heard it was gorgeous, and I saw pictures of the Northern Lights, which were incredible. So yeah, that's a good one. I can't beat that.
It was really beautiful.
Surrender to no one.
Only way black folk gonna climb this mountain is if we pull each other along. So I love the book, and I also love the man that we hired to adapt the book, Selwyn Seyfu Hines, and I love the lyricism with which he wrote the show. And You always appreciate it when a writer is able to see the seed of something within somebody else's work and is able to take it and expand upon it, right? Like some adaptations can be fairly faithful, but some can be just a jumping off point for a world. And he's able to build this world, to fill out the world of Halifax and sort of these freed black people making life on their own terms. There was something about the world that intrigued me. And like what it was, the found community that people had to have in order to make it from day to day to day, right? Coming from such a vast array of circumstances and then just finding vitality and just sort of joy. You know, it's hard to do it by yourself, right? And so you're separated from your family, the family that you've known. You know, Wash doesn't know who his mom is, etc., but he has somebody who is raising him, but he's ripped away from what he knows and then has to find something that is found, right? Like everything that was a tent pole for him, whether it was his relationship with Big Kid, his relationship with Titch, all these things eventually are sort of taken away from him, and he has to find a new family. And it just goes to show you that the power of found family is every bit as important as what you're given at birth.